being videoed.
Okay.
He's hearing it on the video.
Okay, we'll start all over again. Thank you for attending this session. I want to introduce Susan Shapiro, who is someone I happen to know personally, and please give her your undivided attention because she's got some really good stuff, and I'm not going to blow anything. She's got it all.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm Susan Shapiro. I'm the owner of Braylon Consulting, and I'm a solution provider and certified email marketing specialist with Constant Contact, and that's what you're here, to learn about email marketing. And I want to start with why I chose this as the title of the presentation. You're looking to email marketing, you're thinking of communication, but it's also about being competitive, and I want to explain that with a story, actually, with a client of mine. My client's in real estate, and she had a long-term relationship with someone who was constantly moving, and over the years had gotten to know this person, and they'd worked a lot together. Every time he was selling or buying, he went to her. But she'd been out of touch with him for a while. And she was walking down the street one day, and literally, this is so true, and just ran into him, and he looked at her and went, oh no, I saw a property I was interested in, and I called the number on and listed in the paper. I never thought to call you. And that's what happens. We're all out there. We're networking. We're meeting people. And if you are not staying fresh in those relationships, if you are not maintaining your customer relationships, you're going to lose out to the next person they meet who does what you do right before someone asks them for a referral. So part of email marketing is relationships, and it's about maintaining and being competitive. All right, my clicker thing isn't working, so that's okay. There's got to be another way. There we go. So what is email marketing? Email marketing is about building relationships. It's about getting out there and getting your customers and prospects to come to you, to remember about what you do. It's not about selling. Email marketing is informing. It's letting the people, your contacts, your prospects know that you know what's going on in your industry, that you're the expert, that you have the pulse. Don't send somebody a marketing notice and newsletter saying, you want to do business with me because. That's not what email marketing is about. Email marketing is, got to read this article. Let me show you what it's all about. It's teasing. It's informing. So this is the definition that was taken right off the Constant Contact website. Okay, let's go into the details. The why and the what about email marketing. It's branded. This is really important. People say, I say, do you do email marketing? Yeah, I send out emails all the time, and I personalize them. I'm good at the merge and all that, and everyone's individualized. It's an email. Let's face it. You get an email, it's an email. It may have a couple little things in it. It may have a little colored font, but you know what an email looks like. This is you. This is your logo. Think of it as an extension of your website. That's what email marketing is. It's your voice. It's your look and feel. This is really critical because this is all part of building that relationship with your clients and your prospects. Targeted. Let's say you have, for nice round numbers, 100 people contacts in your system, and 25 of them have been long-term contacts and you want to offer them a promotion. You can do that. You create within Constant Contact, you upload your contacts, and you can segment into lists. So I can choose to who I'm sending this newsletter to. And I can send it to everyone, or I can say this information is for this list because this is data, this is information that they are going to get the most out of. So it's a way to truly keep a strong relationship with your contacts. You're not telling those people that aren't interested about this topic. You're only telling the ones you know. And feel free to interrupt if you have any questions while I'm talking. I like interactive. Continued communication. This goes back to the story I told at the beginning. How do you stay in the forefront of your prospects and contacts' minds? By continued communication. So if you email, if you do a branded email, let's say once a month, and maybe you do a promotion twice a month, you're setting a consistency, you're setting an expectation, and all of a sudden, your contacts are looking forward to hearing from you, and that's a good thing. That means you have something that you want to tell them. There was this example that when I first started working with Constant Contact that they gave of, I think it was a nail salon. And every Wednesday, this nail salon sent out a newsletter with a special, get your a mani and pedi for whatever amount, or do this, or we have a new color. And anyway, they sent something out every Wednesday. And one Wednesday, they didn't do it, and they were bombarded with calls. So think about if you have your clients and prospects looking forward to hearing from you on a regular basis. Doesn't have to be weekly, monthly, every 6 weeks, whatever works for you in your industry with your clients. There's no right and wrong except that you don't want to be hounding people with emails. You don't want to be sending them every single day. None of us want to get that. Another difference with doing it with email marketing versus sending your email is your email is going to get through. They're very particular about people who are getting spam. Do all of you understand about the impact of marking an email as spam? I know I'm going off on a tangent, but this is important because this is part of the presence of email marketing, specifically with Constant Contact. If you are sending emails out and the people who are receiving them as marking them as spam, you are going to be blocked. So let's say you are sending all these emails out to people with AOL email addresses, and your address is constantcontact.com. Well, it's not. Let's use my own, braylon-consulting.com. And I'm sending all these emails out, and people are marking them as spam. Guess what? AOL is not going to receive my emails anymore. They're not going to receive them. I can send them, and they're going into thin air. No one's going to get them. When you use Constant Contact, they keep tabs on that. They know if somebody is doing a lot of spamming, that person is taken out of the system. So this has the majority of your emails are going to go through because they track that for you. Continued communication, fast and inexpensive. So fast. We're going to get into next about how to do a good email newsletter. But fast is you're not writing a book, and I'm going to get into that a little more. Fast is you can schedule it in advance. So let's say you have 6 topics and you want to send an email out to your contacts and prospects once a week. You can schedule in advance. You can write all your emails and say, this is when I want to go out. Oh, by the way, you can also set it to tweet those newsletters if you're using Twitter. You can get them into your other social media aspects. They also have the icons so that everybody you send it to, if you send it to someone, wouldn't this be great? You're sending someone an email and it's so powerful, they're tweeting it to their followers. You can do all that. So fast and inexpensive. It's based on the number of active contacts you have in the system that you're sending emails to. What's that mean? That you don't have to worry about how many emails you're sending a month. It's not based on that. It's based on the contacts that you want to reach. So it's really utilizing the value for your dollars, for your marketing dollars. Everyone with me so far?
Can you say that last concept one more time? Explain it that you're sending out a mass newsletter, but somehow they're helping you focus it? I missed the concept.
No. I'm sorry. Now you've lost me.
The last thing that you said, if you want to...
About being fast and inexpensive?
Right.
That you can schedule them in advance, and that the cost is based on the number of contacts you have in the system. So you can send out as many email newsletters as you want. You don't have to have some great topic you want to send out and say, oh, but I've already reached my quota and I don't want to pay extra. It's based on the number of actual contacts. So if you think about it, you're reaching the people you want to reach, and that's your marketing dollars. That's the value for the marketing dollars. Is that better?
I'll ask a question.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I think what is trying to be asked, I think what you're trying to say is one email to 5,000 people may be a bit more expensive than 5,000 emails to one person.
That's one way of doing it, yeah. That's one way of looking at it. Okay, so, sorry for the spacing. But the bottom line is, if they don't read it, why write it? And we all have that. We all have sent emails and we know that people are deleting them and not reading it, and it's really infuriating, especially when we put a lot of time into it. So this is key. How do you get people to read your emails? I'm going to go through this each step. Subject line. If you get an email saying Susan's newsletter, Susan's July newsletter, chances are it's going to hang and hang and hang to the time when you go and delete all your old emails. You're not going to be reading that. If you get an email that has the same subject every month, I get one from someone that says, a gift of attention, I think is the subject matter. And it's the same every month. I don't know why I want to open that. I'm not sure what's differentiating it, what it's offering me. So you want to have a subject line that I use the word teasing a lot because that's really what you're doing with email newsletters. You want to have a subject line that makes someone want to see more. And I'll give you examples of a couple I've written that tend to have very high open rates, and I'm going to get into open rate in a minute. I wrote an email about the importance of backing up your data. It can be dry, except that I like to have fun, so I try to throw humor in it. But the subject line was, oh no, what happened to my data? Guess what? It was open and read by everyone I sent it to. They wanted to know what happened to my data. Only it wasn't my data. It was the risk of losing all your data and why you have to back it up. So when you're writing a newsletter, think about what the importance, what the theme of the content is. And make that subject line lead into that. Make it so somebody wants to open it. It doesn't have to say what version it is. It doesn't have to have the month in it. It better not have the word newsletter in it. Use the content you're writing about. That's what's going to get someone to open it, which leads us into content. Don't write me a novel. It's not going to be read. You have, in today's world, and this isn't me saying this, I'm not that smart, these are statistics, but basically you have 3 seconds of someone's attention to get them interested in taking the next step. That's when you're giving your elevator speech, when you're talking to someone, and that's when you're writing to someone. If you don't grab them when they glance, that's the importance of the subject line, but you better be in sync with it when they open and see the content. I'll tell you, if I open a newsletter and I see paragraphs and paragraphs, I generally delete it. It's too much. I don't have the time. I don't have the focus. There's too much coming at me. So what's the point? What's the content? The point is reaching out to your contacts and bringing them back to you. You bring them to where you want them. So you write content that's going to be a tease, there's that word again, something to make them want to come back to your website. Go to whatever place you want to send them. You're in control. You're driving. And you have to drive your contacts to where you want them to be. Use a couple, 3 or 4 lines, maybe a couple paragraphs in each one, and at the end, we'll get to links in a second, but you link it back. So you bring them back to your website. When I write something, generally I'm bringing them back to an article I put on my website, or an article I've written, or I'm sending them to something I felt was a worthwhile article. That makes me the expert in my field. That makes people want to hear what I say. I'm not saying you need to hire me because I'm saying this just really struck me and I think all of you will be interested. You're my contacts. You're my clients. And then you put in images and links, okay? Really key. Don't overdo images. Don't use images in place of text. Use images that make a point. You should have a picture of yourself in your newsletter, and then that may be it. That's all I have. My client who is in real estate has a picture of herself and a picture of whatever property she's promoting in that newsletter she does. The same goes with links. You want relevant links, but don't make it all links. Think about how many of you are using smartphones, and you get something that has images and links, and all you see is all these links, and you just can't make it out. So you do want some text there. And again, the same goes with images. Most email clients today, you do not have to automatically display images. Most email clients are set actually to not display images unless you choose to. If you have tons of images, anyone opening it, most people opening it are going to see white space after white space after white space. So don't overdo images, and when you use an image, put a valid description. So if someone chooses not to display the images, they know what they're missing. So don't have logo. Have Constant Contact logo if your company's Constant Contact. So someone knows what they're not seeing. Be very specific. The same with links. I'm not a big fan of click here. It bores me. As you can see, I'm moving. I don't like that. So make it worthwhile. So what do? You have text. So if this was online and I was doing something, the word links, I would put behind it whatever the link was. So you have the text, and this is so easy to do in Constant Contact. You highlight the text, you click the word links, and you put in what the URL is. And boom, you've got it. So we're not having lots of URLs, and what you're doing is you're making your message even more powerful. You're not losing real estate and adding more words that someone's not going to read. So if your topic is the latest and greatest property, if you're in real estate, you may have the word property click over to the page on your website that describes the property. Everyone with me? Got it? This is key. If you're not going to pay attention to these things, then don't do the newsletter. And I keep talking about the point is to bring your clients and your contacts to where you want them. So again, don't give all your information in the newsletter. Give the little tease and then have it link back to your website. And this is what happens. You're focusing on this much of what you do. This is the information you're getting out to someone. It's a great topic in this arena. They come back to your website and they say, oh, look, he does this, 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 and this. And now you have them navigating around your website looking to see what else you do, which potentially is going to lead to more business from that person or them forwarding your email to someone else saying, hey, did you know that this person does this? You should give them a call. So that's, you market yourself subtly by bringing them to you from where they can find out what else you do. An example I'd like to give of the power of email marketing, and I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, I'm missing something before I go there, sorry. Analytics, key. So here's the example. You send out an email, how do you know if people are opening it? Some people you may do return receipt. Most people in today's world are going to block it. How do you know? How much effort did you put into writing that email? Is anyone actually opening it and reading it? With email marketing, you get those analytics. I sent it to 100 people. 50 of those people, 50% of those people opened it. 20 of those people, 20%, clicked on the links. 5 on this link, 3 on this link, 2 on this. You get all that information. So you know, am I putting good information in my newsletter? And then you tweak it based on that. And guess what? You tweak your website too. If they're not going to look where you're driving them, maybe it's not strong enough. Maybe it needs to be changed. So you lose. I have a client who does M&A. Every 6 weeks or so, he was sending out a PDF of all the M&A deals in the tri-state area. It's a lot of work. He had about 6 different charts and all this information. I'm like, what's your return on investment? What's the return on your time for sitting there putting this together? What do you mean? Do you hear from anyone? Well, once in a while. We threw it into email marketing, got him started on that, took the charts and put them on the back end of his website. What I mean by that is you couldn't necessarily figure out how to navigate there directly, but there were links in the newsletters that took you there. Well, what did he find out? 3 of the charts nobody cared about. Boom, save time right there. People were opening it, and the more he sent it out with little snippets about what was going on in the marketplace, the more people started opening it, and people started calling him. And all of a sudden, not only is his time better spent, but he knows what's going on. He knows the information he needs to provide to people and what they want to see. So, one, not knowing my audience of how experienced you are with email marketing, that is the difference between saying, but I send out emails to people. It's huge difference when you can go through the analytics. I can tell if it bounced. Do I have an old email address for you? You're on vacation, you're not getting it. Oh, I really wanted you to get it. I'm going to make a note to send it to you when you're back from vacation in case you didn't get it in your email. All that information is available in the analytics. And I can know what links you're clicking on. I can know if you've decided to unsubscribe. Guess what? I've been dealing with you for 3 years. All of a sudden I send a newsletter and I see you've unsubscribed. Really haven't talked to you in about a year and a half. Hey, Mary, how are you? It's been such a long time. Want to grab a cup of coffee? I may retain a client just by doing that. That's the power of email marketing, and that is the competitive edge that it gives you. Here's my information if you want. Yeah?
Oh, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, I was going to say is information. I know that I have like 20 minutes, and then I have to move out, so I'll be out there later if people want to talk.
I wanted to get your opinion on a little piece of newsletter etiquette.
Sure.
Okay. So you meet somebody at a conference, you exchange cards and so forth like that. Would it be considered too forward to immediately put them on your newsletter list? Or?
Ask.
Okay.
Email marketing is permission-based. It is against the law. It's a Can't Spam Act. You're not allowed to spam people. So if you're in a networking event, it's pretty much assumed you're going to start communicating with people. But yeah, you meet someone, you say, you know, I'd love to put you on my newsletter. Is that okay? Boom. You don't need written permission. That's permission. That's permission. It's that easy. But if you're going to go somewhere and walk around and collect all these cards without even necessarily talking to people, put them on your newsletter, that's spam. So you got to be smart about it. And the last thing you want is that people mark you as spam. And I will tell you right now, Constant Contact does it, and other email marketing programs do it too. Yes, there are others, though none are as good. But if you are getting a certain it's a very low percentage. If a certain percent is marking your newsletters as spam, boom, you're gone. You're gone. Now, my clients, a couple had that problem, and we knew why they had that. I was able to get them back in, but you do have to be careful with that. Any other questions? We haven't been thrown out yet. Was that good? I totally explained it, and you all get it? You ready to sign up? So I just want to tell you, just note this. If you want to try a free account for 60 days, you can do that. You can look at the templates. What I want to tell you is there's tons of templates. The idea when you look at template in the email marketing is don't get waylaid by the color. You're looking at the look and feel. Everything else can be modified. You can add more sections, but you're looking at the basic look and feel. Do I like the long column on the left or on the right? Do I want a promotional coupon? You can move things around, but that's all. And then everything else is customizable. Because remember what I said at the beginning? It's your brand. And that's the other key thing. It doesn't look like an email. It looks like your brand. Okay? So I'm going to be out there somewhere milling around if anyone has any questions or wants my card or any other information. And thank you. Appreciate it.